Good evening and welcome to our crafting session this evening. My name is Jenny McCormack and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I'm based in the market town of Brackley, which is in Northamptonshire here in the UK. Thank you so much for joining me. It is, goodness me, Thursday evening already. And this will be something like the 19th of January. I don't know how we got there so quickly, I really don't. But here we are. And this week I've been focusing on a stamp set called Petal Park. And that is this one here. Let's take it out of that light, shall we? Hi Lynn, how lovely to have you join us, thank you. So we've been featuring this is my stamp set of the week, and that means if you purchase this stamp set and or the bundle and or the papers, then I will send you the components for all of the cards that I have made this week. So you'll get the cardstock and the envelopes, you'll get the papers, you'll get the dies, and then all you need to do is use your stamp set and or punch to do the cards as you wish. So that is the stamp set. It's a photopolymer stamp set, and it has a coordinating punch which punches out these flowers on the right hand side and the single leaf here at the top on the left. So a really useful combination. Obviously you can also just punch the flowers out of patterned paper and use those accordingly. Hi Kerry, good evening to you. I hope you're well. And let me show you the two cards that we've made so far. This was the first one we did. This was on Tuesday. And I put the patterned papers behind and used the colours from the patterned papers, which was Night of Navy and Balmy Blue, and I used those to create the panel. And this is a two-step stamp set, so you can stamp the outside and the infill, or you can stamp the outside and colour it in. And here's an example of that. So this is stamped on the outside and infilled, and then this one is stamped and coloured in with our blends pens. So it just depends on your preference. And this one here uses the leaves, and that has been stamped and use the infill, but again you could just colour those in. Hi Fran, good afternoon to you. So that was Tuesday's design. And then yesterday, Wednesday, I used this oval from the Fitted Florets dies, and all I did for that was I stamped and punched out the flowers and added those around the edge of that, added a little bit of bling and the sentiment from Forever Friendship, one of my favourite sentiments. So I'm going to do a slightly different variation today. I'll leave those at the side there. I might need to take my glasses off. But what I'm going to do is I've got a different die cut today. This is also from the Scallop Contours dies, the same as this one, but it's a bigger variation, as you can see. And I'm taking my inspiration from the same pack of papers. So this is the Regency Park papers that coordinate with the stamp set, so you can see the similarities here of those stamps to the of the images to the stamp, sorry. So this is Sweet Sorbet with Petal Pink. Now I wouldn't have put those two together, but that's what we're going to do today. So I have a Sweet Sorbet card base, and this piece is going to go on top. I could place our patterned paper right behind, but the problem with that is this panel is so big that you hardly see the backing paper, so I will decide once I've done my stamping whether or not I include that paper or whether I put it straight onto this background here. So that's what I'm going to be stamping on. I have a spare just in case, and I've got the open leaves here, and my plan, which is in my head at the minute, but I'm hoping it's going to work, is to have one set of leaves at the top and another set of leaves at the bottom, and then stamp and punch out the flowers and dot the flowers around. So that's the theory. I am going to grab a mat though, just to help us, only as it's a photopolymer stamp and I want a little bit of cushioning underneath. Now if I look at their papers are done in the same colours, but I think I'm just going to use a light green. So what I think I'm going to do is stamp in, what should we stamp in? I'm thinking Mint Macaron, which of course I can't see. Let me have a quick look. There we go. There it is. Come out. Okay, so I've got Mint Macaron because I think those two do actually work together. So I'm going to use that for the outline and then see how we do. So I hope everybody is well and having or had a good day, depending on when you're watching. This feels very, very light. So I'm just going to stamp it on the back first, just to see what it looks like. Make sure it's going to come out just about, but I don't want the leaves to overtake the flowers too much, so I think that will be okay. We'll give it a go and see. I can always redo another one. So just off the bottom of your screen, sorry, I'm taking the ink pad to the stamp. Glasses are coming off, and I think what I'm going to do is have this as high up as I can, like so, and I'm hoping there's going to be enough space for a sentiment, and if there isn't, I will put the sentiment on either a die cut or a punched shape, one or the other. Okay, so there's that one. So do the same thing. Because it's quite a big stamp, it's much easier to take the ink pad to the stamp. And this set is what we will be using at Coffee and Card tomorrow. So let's see, how did I put that there? So I want to turn this round really, and there we go. Drop this at the bottom of that panel. It's been very, very cold here today. I don't know how much above freezing it got, if anything, but it was definitely on the cold side. Let's have a quick look. I've got Mint Macaron pens, but I've also got, what I'm looking for is soft sea foam. Just to do a very light bit of colouring in. So just going to see. Yeah, that's all I want, because I want the other, I want the flower stamps to do the work. So I'm literally just brushing a little bit of colour. This is light soft sea foam. I could use Mint Macaron, But if in doubt, what I like to do is start with the lightest colour, because you can always go back in and add a darker colour. It's a bit more difficult, not impossible, but a bit more difficult to take some colour out. We do have the colour lifter, which helps you to do that. So literally just coming around, and I could have used the infill for this, but just wanted a slightly different look. That's those little ones there, and I do like these little dots that you get with the set, but there are also some extra dots. So if you've got a little bit missing, or you want to fill in a little bit of a space, I've got the dot stamps to hand. So this is not a tutorial on how to colour in with the blends pens. I'm just literally adding a little bit of colour. So if I lift that up, hopefully you can see that on there. Now, there'll be nothing to stop me stamping the flowers and then stamping and punching out on top, and I might still do that. But what I want to do is stamp the flowers separately first, just to see what they look like, because I've not tried this combination. Okay, that's that. Drop those in there. Okay, oops, missed the set. So just very subtle. Obviously you can make these much more bolder, or more bold I should say, like we had here. I know this is the other stamp, but okay, so that's that. Let's have a go with the flowers. So I've got the outline flowers. Just going to make sure that there's some semblance of clean, and I'm going to pop those in Sweet Sorbet. That's our colour, and it's a slightly pinky red. And if you remember, the punches with the small flower at the top, so that's how I'm going to stamp it on my card here, like so. And that one will be a little bit tight, so I'm just going to turn that round, stamp that at the bottom, and while I'm here I will do another lot. Like so. Right, just going to, actually I will cover that ink pad up. Okay, so I've got some petal pink pens. So these were the colours from the papers here. So Sweet Sorbet and Petal Pink, which is not a combination I would normally do, but nothing ventured, nothing gained. So I'm just going to do a little bit of dark Petal Pink, and in the centres they've just used the same, they haven't added anything extra. So this is dark Petal Pink, like so. And I'm doing it fairly quickly, I'm not worrying too much about the detail. Like so. And also because you don't want to just sit there watching me colour in. Although you always tell me it's therapeutic watching me colour in. I think it must just be quite boring. Hi Trudy. If you're listening and watching, hello to you. Another idea with that Petal Park set. So that's light dark petal pink, so I'm just going to use light just to blend that. But to be honest, it's such a small area and you've got the colour of the stamp in the background that I don't think you would need to do two levels of colour if you didn't want to. And it's amazing how different stamps can look in different colourways. Okay, so I'm just going to colour these in and punch them out, and then I've got the others ready if I need them. And I do have a sweet sorbet pen that I could use for example, colouring in the centres. I'm just going to see what this looks like. So it's a very soft, subtle card, this one. Okay, so I've got 6 flowers to get me going. Let's punch those out, see what they look like. So I'm just going to slide that in. Just take a little bit of time. There's some easy little notches here that match the stamp, so it doesn't take too long to line it up. Just mind you don't pinch your hands here. So 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to do the same here, and then I'll decide if I'm going to stamp the base of that card. Bing. There we go. So let's have a look. Here's my base, and I haven't decided which way round it's going to go, and I'm just going to put these here for a minute. I'm not going to glue them down. I knew there was one there somewhere. So the initial stamp set has them separate like that, but you could easily layer this into the middle, for example, if you want to, like so. So I think I'm going to add a couple more flowers, mainly because that gives me 6 and that's a little bit too even. We like to have odd numbers, but I don't think it matters that they're not in the slot that was intended. I think you can just move these around accordingly, and then hopefully I'm going to have space for my sentiment. Just want a little one in there, or I could turn it this way, but that makes it very short and narrow. So I think this is my preferred option, so I'm just going to wonder whether to, no, I'm not going to stamp the base flowers because I want the freedom to put my little flowers wherever I like. So let's just colour these in really quickly. So this is dark petal pink, so this one is going to be slightly darker than the others. Like so, and remember it does slightly lighten as it dries. So, and let's do this one as well. Okay. So thank you to everybody who has ordered our stamp set of the week already. So I'm putting your packs together as I go along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. So let's punch those out. My punch is right here in front of me. Like so. Okay. So here's my panel, and I'm going to use a bone folder just to crease these flowers. So, and you can make them go up, you can make them go down, You make them go up and down. You can also put, for example, a pen or something in the middle. So what I've got a pencil with a rubber on the end, so you can sort of force that down to crease that up. That gives quite a nice look as well. And you can scrunch these up, all sorts of things. Okay. I have to say there are some really nice floral sets in our January to April stamp set catalogue, I beg your pardon, and I'm a bit of a sucker for a floral stamp set, as you may know, so I'm happy. And especially the fact that we've got a punch rather than die, so I think this will be popular for that reason. There we go. Okay, that will do. Let's just do that on here. And here, you don't want anything with too sharp a point, otherwise you'll just go straight through the cardstock. And this has been stamped on thin basic white, like so. And if you've got embossing tool, you can also run the embossing tool up and down the leaves to make them curl in. There's all sorts of techniques that you can do with this. Okay, hoping you can see that okay on my mat. It does make things stand out a little bit. So what I'm going to do is lay down my flowers roughly, because I want to know where my sentiment's going to go, but I'm going to stamp my sentiment before I put the flowers on with adhesive, otherwise they tend to get in the way. So all I want is a small sentiment for the middle. You could leave it absolutely plain, of course, and you could have it just completely covered in flowers, you know, right the way through if you wanted to. Let's find a small sentiment. Amazing grandson would be perfect. I don't have a grandson. Oh, this little happy birthday would work from very best occasions, I think. And then we've got you're the best ever, thinking of you. Let's try that happy birthday, because that is dinky. Yes. So now I know that that's going to fit okay. Now I think I'm going to stamp this in Sweet Sorbet, because I want it to stand out. Let's just test it on here, like so. I had a feeling that was far from straight. As soon as I did that, I knew that wasn't straight. So I do like to have it straight to the block if I can, and then you can use the block to line it up. Yes, that looks good. So now I can bring this in, not that I've got any guidelines here really, but just visually I'm going to try and keep this block straight from either side. Are you holding your breath for me? Thank you. There we go. There's my dinky little happy birthday. Right, now I can just add my flowers and anything else that I need to finish it off, whether I need, what do you call those things? Embellishments. That's the word. So, just try a little bit of this glue, make sure it's all working. So, and I could also stamp and punch out some leaves, but I want the flowers to do the talking here. Like so. And let's have 2 down here. Yes, just to balance it, because I want the weight at the bottom. So. And remember, when you're using wet glue, just give it time to set. Don't be in such a hurry to get it down and moved, and just a little bit of glue is all you need. Literally a little bit. So let's have one in here. Now I told you I'm no flower arranger, so bear with me. And this one here. Let's do like that. So I've got 5. And I may not need all of the ones that I've prepared. I could put them on the inside of the card. Like so. And then I think a little one in there might be all I need. My screen's frozen, but I'm on here, but I'm hoping you're all still with me. There we go. How sweet is that? Really pretty. So I've got 2 little ones, so I've got 7, so I think that's going to work perfectly. And let's grab my sweet sorbet card. Let's grab the one that I actually scored ready, and then decide. Yeah, everything's disappeared from my screen. Oh no, I'm back. Okay, so there's the card as is. I don't think it needs, I mean it's quite pretty with this, but I don't think it needs it. Any opinions? Oh good, still here. With or without the papers. I'm really torn. So you can have a tiny border, or you could have the paper covering the whole of the card, and that brings it all in together. Yeah, I think you're right, Kerry. Now the question is, do I leave a little bit of border? I don't think I need to. I think I prefer to see the DSP rather than the extra layers, so just going to cut that to size. So this will be 10.5 by 14.85. Oh, Lynn's gone for a tiny border. I think I'm going for it full on. How brave am I? So, sorry Lynn. Normally, all of my cards have borders, as you know, but I just didn't think it necessarily, because it was so busy, I don't think it necessarily helped. So I've cut this almost half a millimetre smaller, just so that it fits, and it's just a smidgen smaller, not even half a millimetre, so that you don't get the paper hanging over the edge. There we go. So that's that layer. This is going to go on top. And am I going to put it on dimensionals? No, I think I'm going to do it flat. And then if I wish, I can add some embellishments either into the flowers or dotted around like we had here. Just put 3 on there. So there we go. And I'm not worrying about putting glue right on this edge. I'm happy with it in the main part of that. Okay, so I can pop a couple of these on the inside, or I could just cut a piece and stamp it. I've got a piece here somewhere. And then we're up for time. There we go. This is probably the right size. So I'm just going to stamp those on this inside piece, and we're done. So let's put this one in the corner. I'm going to have it coming off the corner. Like so. And then I can just put those 2 in there, and I'll keep these fairly flat. And obviously then you could put a birthday sentiment on the inside. Like that. Oh yes, that was the other thing I'd thought of, is adding a strip of DSP. Well done, Kerry. So I could cut a strip of that, put it down there, across the top, across the bottom if I hadn't got my flowers on. Okay, so that's going to go inside my card, like that. I've got a little bit of a border. Right. So there we are. Thanks to everybody also who has joined my class in a box for January, either in person, online with the box, or online without the contents. Okay. There we are. Now this little flower is just poking out the side, so I'm just going to trim the edge. There we go. And there we have our card. Now I'm just going to look for some embellishments, because I've got some sweet sorbet embellishments, just to finish that off. So you have to let me know which is your preferred one out of these 3. because they're all similar but different, obviously. Right, let's have a look. If I can get in. This is our self-adhesive sequins. I think that would look quite nice in the middle. It's hard to choose. I suppose it depends on what colours you're drawn to, isn't it, really? Let's see, this is too big, maybe, I don't know. Let's just put 1, 2 and 3. There we go. Nice bit of bling shining there. I could put bling on the other ones. Would that be too much, do we think? So I've got some little ones there. Who knows? Okay, so there we go. There's our finished card. So I've kept the leaves behind quite muted in Mint Macaron because I wanted the flowers to do the work, inspired by the colours on the background papers there from Regency Park. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope you like those. That's our inside there, and this is our inside there, and this one I put that little spare flower on. So I do hope you have enjoyed those. This is the stamp set that we're using at Coffee and Card. Thank you, Lynn. Tomorrow in Brackley and Monday in Toaster. So if you're local, you'll be most welcome to come and join us for that. And if you purchase my stamp set of the week, which is this Petal Park and all the punch, then I will send you, as I said, all the components to make the card. So you'll get 3 base cards, 3 envelopes, the different layers, and also a die. Thank you, Kerry. So have a great weekend. I will be back on Monday, but it won't be at 10 o'clock because I have an appointment with a physio at the hospital. So I might do it Monday evening rather than drop it into the middle of the day, because I know it doesn't always suit everybody. Alternatively, I could do it at 9 o'clock in the morning. But I think I'm going to go for Monday evening. So watch out for details. I will confirm that on Monday. So do join us if you can. Thank you so much. Let me bring this one back up to the camera so that you can see it. Oops, there we go. Sorry, that was a bit big, wasn't it? Just really delicate and pretty. Thank you, everyone. Do take care. Look after yourselves. I hope you're able to keep crafting. And thanks for spending time with me today. Take care. Bye for now.